in town. The entire food systems of an area must be set up correctly for that community, those communities to thrive. Currently, the best community food producing systems are actually in Yotatiro, not in the Bosque. Because right now it would be me. Or it would be you if you were here. And if you were here, you wouldn't know what the fuck you were doing and you would screw shit up. Because you can't just jump into a complex kitchen situation, do a good job without training. Now, people could bring in outside food, and I guess I should actually make recommendations currently with my very, you know, low infrastructure thing. There's a big difference between me feeding someone who's coming here and helping them feed themselves, and then there being more people with different points of view, not having a centralized system, making different types of waste, bringing in stuff of questionable ethical value in terms of how it was produced or its effect on the, civilization and shit. Why is there something eating over there? What the fuck is it? God. Oh, I don't think that's a dog. Oh, wildlife's annoying. I need to make better buildings. The perception of time. So the question, the big conflict here is bouncing back and forth from a structured experience that your time is controlled versus not. And I think this is how I break it down. I think anybody coming here at first, no matter what their role, should always come in a... No, is this true? I don't know if I agree with this. Right now, I would like people to come here to be in a very structured role. Yeah, I think that's how I should say it. That's because it's more convenient for me. It's more fulfilling for them. And it's a good idea. If people just come here to relax and wander around, that's boring and does not fulfill any greater goal of mine. And they can do it in a bunch of other places on the planet. Everywhere else is open to that. Just go and pay a bunch and hang out. I mean, the whole world is oriented towards your consumerist needs. And I don't want to provide for them. I don't feel like it. So I want to make a place instead where people initially, when they come, they are in some fairly specific role and they have a goal. And they accomplish that goal. And it's not just one goal. It's not an amusement park. Although, in a sense, I guess that's an analogy I don't use much. Could it be like an intellectual amusement park? I think it could be. Philosophical amusement park. With ideas spread around. I could put up signs which would help, and that would at least keep the topics in front of us. I like that idea, actually. Maybe I should just go apeshit with signs. With just different words, phrases. English, Spanish. Could toss in a few others, but I don't speak the other ones. Well, why not, We could toss in some other shit. We want to check the translations pretty well so we don't make fools of ourselves. But I like the idea. That's very funny. Yeah, why not? Well, signs actually take a fair amount of maintenance, too. So every sign does cost. So how can we do signs the cheapest way? Painting walls and rocks, probably. I got some cool rocks, actually. I do have some rocks I want to set aside for painting. So, I guess here's the deal. The idea of being totally time-free as far as schedule is a ridiculous luxury. It is decadent and dumb and evil in some ways. I think that maybe in life it's good to take breaks like that, and I can provide that as part of the hermit experience even, where you're not scheduled. But that's not a realistic experience. It's not a realistic good way to be in society, It's like monks. I don't have a special liking of or respect for people who are monks. I think it's neat. That's a great thing if you can swing it. But that doesn't mean you know shit more, you know. And I am a monk in a sense. I spent more time than most monks alone. I don't know how long monks last. I guess if you're a monk for 20 years and you never saw anybody or spoke or something, then you certainly would beat me on the monk-esqueness. But I got a lot of time put in on the monk idea and the hermit idea, and they're related. I don't know how they're different. I guess monks have a spiritual framework that they're fitting within. Well, I don't, except my own, which is actually pretty complicated. I have a very complicated spiritual framework. There's no spirits in it. Spirits are a stupid idea for dumb fucks. So, all right. Perceptions of time, then, and schedules. I am pro-schedule. And I'm also in favor of a bunch of exceptions to that. But a schedule among a group of people is extremely powerful. And this is what I would like to provide at the Bosque Village, is that a group of people who don't all know each other necessarily come into a place, and this has happened many times here before, and they function in some complex ways that are different than their regular lives. This already sounds kind of complicated, doesn't it? Yeah, it's a lot more complicated than just dumping some people in a space and having to do whatever the fuck they want to do. That's easy, and it's a fuck-up. Go look at reality television and see what happens when you dump some people in a place and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They have no fucking structure, they have no values, they have no shared social anything, and things don't exist like that. That's like dumping a bunch of, whatever, crap into something and expecting anything but crap. You know, and so here there's a defined culture, and that's for reasons. And anybody who wants to think about ever coming here should totally understand that. And you watching it should understand what the people here go through. In that it's an extremely well-defined, individualistic social environment. I've used a lot of words to describe what analogies for this place. And the problem is I don't actually have a word for what it really is. And I myself, over the years that I've been here and hosted many people in a whole wide variety of ways, a whole wide variety of roles and stuff, right? I have only had a taste of what I envision could be regular life. I've only had a taste of the kind of cultural mixing and a positive vibe supported by an infrastructure in a good way. What good means is, varies according to the person. And of course, I got my own opinion about that. I've only had a taste of that because I've only had the right number of people here at certain times with the right staff and the right infrastructure. So my job then is to have the infrastructure, right? That's the biggest thing I've worked on. It's pretty rustic. I haven't done a ton. It's not perfect in any way. It's there. It's a foothold. It's enough to keep people warm, happy, fed, and amused. And a whole bunch of other infrastructure needs to exist if the place is going to thrive. And so this gets into like, how do I schedule things here in the Bosque? And I guess I want those people that come here, the number one scheduling thing is get up in the goddamn morning. Whatever you have to do in the whole rest of everything you do, make sure you get up early in the morning. This means you're up at civil twilight. That's before the sun is up. As soon as you can walk around outside, and there's a little bit of light coming in the windows, you're up. That's it. That's your alarm clock. And whatever time of day that is during that time of the year, that's it. So I'm not going to say get up at 7. When I say get up at civil twilight. And then we start our day. We get your ass moving, and just let's attack the day and do great things. That's it. I get every fucking day now. I get contacted by people that want to come here. They have no social media profile. They don't want to pay anything generally, and I just say no to them all now. Not doing that ever anymore. I was a sucker to do that, and I enjoyed it. It was great, lovely time, great people, and no way. And I think, if you have a place like mine, you should learn from that and figure out, how do I have people here or not? And your default answer, I'm sure, if you're not a dumbass, is I'm not going to have people here at all. Except my close friends and people I trust. But I want to figure that out, actually, because I also think about like large landowners and how we can help them share their land and develop it for a new kind of human use of things. I mean, I really believe, like, to a religious level in the type of forestry I'm doing here and how I'm designing things. It's really slow, and it's probably boring for most people to think about. But like, if you were a large landowner, you'd be the perfect person to think about the shit I'm thinking about. And like, your land could become accessible, productive, profitable, and you could save it from future bad development by developing it in a way that increases its value as a forest, as opposed to being clear-cut or forest farmed, which is not biologically great. And I come from Washington State, and I've watched a lot of forest farming and how it works. I'm not an expert on it, but I guess I don't like how it's all working out. It's not terrible. It's it's what it is. It's forest farming of like timber farming, I guess. And there's no biodiversity, and it's just cycling it through. It's like they're treating it like grass. It's just like a lawn, kind of, or harvesting pine grass, I guess. That sounds funny. It's like pine grass. They just, grow it, cut it down, and there's no life in there after a while. And so these clear cuts are a problem. It's a societal problem. I'm not going to attack the loggers at all. I'm not going to attack the companies even. My dad was friends with warehousers. It's fine. But we could relearn how to create living forests that we get to live near and in, and not just destroy everything and desertify it. And so that's what I'm doing. And I think that large individual landowners, because I saw a map, right? I saw a map of these huge landowners in the United States, and I was thinking about what advice I would give them on what to do with their land. And I think that they can save their land the best by making it human usable. In some cases, it's an experiment, and it depends on where they live. It depends on the values of the individual landowner. But those landowners, I believe, have the opportunity, and I would even say the responsibility, to take care of that land is a far more important thing than just their own lives, their temporary lives. I mean, I believe owning land is an honor, a privilege, an obligation, and that I don't understand, there's lots of issues about land ownership and who owns land and all that kind of shit. And over history, it's been just horrible things, and there's wars, and there's deforestation, there's all kinds of many problems, right, with land ownership and conflicts. All you can do as a landowner, and I'm speaking to myself here, of course, you're getting to listen in. You're my strange mirror. All I can do is take that as a huge responsibility and do the best I can do, and I am. And I guess I would like to present a message to other large landowners that they could think like I do, and maybe they already do. I don't know. I hope they do. That'd be awesome. I would love to talk with other big landowners that think like I do. And I would like to also then come up with, because I feel like it, a set of design rules for how to develop land. And I've talked a lot about this in other videos, of what we do, what we don't do, Even something like building a dam. I mean, it sounds neat at first, but it may be a totally bad, stupid idea, or it may be a great idea. I don't know. I don't want to get really dogmatic about it, but I want to have a really great menu of options of what we would do on a piece of land. Sepp Holzer, I reference him often. In Austria, makes cool lakes. Very impressed with that. I have not met any lakes yet, but there are things we can do to sculpt land and increase its productivity, to increase wildlife, and also increase human use, beneficial human use. So anyway, I gotta go. Good luck with whatever you do.